This is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at the alpha version 0.17 update. The first thing you'll notice are the main menus are a little bit different. Previously, we would have a video. Now, it's a slideshow, and I am perfectly okay with that because the video backgrounds were not encoded in the highest quality. It always kind of annoyed me a little bit because you could see some blockiness in them. With these pictures, they look great. So that's a definite upgrade to me. So let's go ahead and get started with this. The first thing I want to mention is there is a new scenario called Field Run. I'm not going to be doing it right now, but I wanted to point out that there is a new scenario while we're in the menus, but don't read the text. This is just to point out that it exists, not tell you what it's about. What we're going to do now, we're going to go to Free Roam and we're going to go to East Coast, USA because there have been quite a few changes here. And just for fun, we're going to take a look at a lot of new features all at once. For example, there's a new vehicle called the Gravel Blue Buck. Well, it's not actually called the Gravel Blue Buck because I haven't updated my mod to make it say gravel, but let's just pretend it says gravel for now. So we have the Gravel Blue Buck, and as you can see, there are a lot of vehicle options here. So I kind of thought, well, what do I like? When you have a vehicle that's available in a 2-door and a 4-door, I usually like the 4-door variant. And then I like big engines. So I said, okay, let's start with the 423 V8 Marshall 4-door hardtop. Because you have a 423 engine, that thing should make some power, right? And it has some power, but not quite as much as you'd expect for an engine that big for modern standards. This is an older car, and unfortunately, they didn't make quite as much power back then. This thing only has about 300 horsepower, but it does have about 400 foot-pounds of torque. Nowadays, that sounds like a truck engine because it has so much more torque than horsepower, but it works fine for a car like this. Now, before we do any driving with this, though, another new feature under the AI menu is the traffic button. Now, the other AI buttons aren't visible right now because I only have one car up, but they are still fully available. But the new traffic one has a couple of options for it. We have the spawn button, and then we have the spawn police button. And this just stops the traffic, and this removes them. So we're going to start off by just hitting the spawn normal button, and the game is going to freeze up for a minute as it loads up the cars. And then once all the cars are loaded in, you see there's a line of cars over there and they started driving. So let's go ahead and join the line of cars because that sounds like a very reasonable thing to do. Now let's say you cut this guy off. What's going to happen? He actually will slow down for you. That was the thing that the AI didn't do before. They would completely ignore the other vehicles and just slam into each other like crazy. With this new traffic feature though, they don't slam into each other and they don't slam into you. So if I try to block the road like this, they're going to be like, whoa, 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 can I fit by this dude? And if there's enough room, they will try to squeeze on by. But if there's not enough room, they will just stop and wait for you to get out of the way. And I have no idea what that dude in the green car is doing. He is just impatient as heck. I bet you he's in desperate need of a haircut and he has to get it before anybody sees just how long his hair is. That's the only reasonable explanation I could think of for the way he was driving. Because that was so disrespectful of him to overtake like that. And what is this guy doing? Is that just the way you're supposed to do this? Okay, just in case, I'm going to follow his lead. I don't know exactly why he did that. Oh, he just crashed. Oh, he lost a little piece of his hubcap. Oh, no. I don't know why that was so funny to me, but like the fact that I thought the AI wouldn't crash on simple things like that, I guess. But yeah, they still are the AI. They will still crash. If you try to cut them off, for example, they will still crash into you as well. The collisions work just like any other crash. And the really neat thing is, there is always AI around you. Doesn't matter where you're driving or which direction you're going, there will always be AI there, and my car is broken. It will not go left. We are crashing into a tree. And you can't really make out the damage too well because the tree is kind of blocking the visuals. So let's go ahead and reset this. And you'll see, even if you reset the vehicle, almost immediately there's traffic around you. Over there, we got a car coming towards us who we can just go ahead and cut off and drive really slowly in front of. And at the moment, there are no cars in this direction, but you give it a few seconds, and you can now see them off in the distance coming towards us. So I think the way this works is it keeps track of like the 10 closest cars to you. But once a car gets too far away, it gets rid of that car and puts a new car in the direction you're traveling. So it feels like there are infinite cars around you, but it only needs the computer power to have about 10 cars. And that sounds like a lot, because usually in BeamNG.drive, if you put 10 cars on the map, it's gonna start chugging a little bit on most computers. But with this update, there are some good performance improvements. It makes the game run a lot smoother, so things like this are possible even on the lower powered computer systems. Why is that dude stopping? What are you doing, dude? You got your blinker on, but you ain't going nowhere, huh? I guess I can say that is realistic. People do drive like dummies sometimes. But as I was saying, the update makes it where something like this is a lot more possible on lower end computers. And I really like the way this works. The alternative before was you just have one AI car and you would just follow them around basically. But now it's like you're actually driving through traffic. It kind of feels like if you're driving in Forza or Grand Theft Auto, except those games don't do that. I completely separated the body of the vehicle from the frame somehow. That wasn't even that hard of a collision. Just the way it grabbed, it said, give me that body. I don't need that frame. Oh, look at that. What's that guy doing? Oh, that's my fault. I bumped into him and I kind of made him go in the wrong lane. All right, let's bring this thing back up here. And we'll continue driving around for a little bit. Maybe we'll do some collisions. Like I see that guy who I already crashed into once. What if we crash into him again? Right. Just keep on crashing. How did I manage to get stuck in between two trees like this? I can't get out of here. I am completely trapped. That's weird. All right. We'll go and reset this, and then we should be able to keep on driving. And I want to drive through this a little bit more because this, to me, is the best part about the update. Oh, is that guy turning around? Also, not only will they stop if there's somebody in front of them, if they take too long, like if there's a wreck, they'll just turn around and go a different way. That's cool. But as I was saying, this is my favorite thing because it adds so much more to the game. Before, no matter what you were doing in the game, all the driving would be pretty basic and static. But with this, it is so much more dynamic. Like if I wanted to, I could go into the inside of the vehicle and just drive around like this. And to me, this is just perfectly happy driving. Because there would be times where I would literally load up Grand Theft Auto and all I would do is I would steal a car and just drive around for a bit. Because that's just a real nice, relaxing thing to do. And now, that can be done in BeamNG.drive. Also, this is a preview of the interior for this vehicle. I'm going to be doing a full video later on that goes into a lot of depth on the vehicle, but I'm giving you guys a good preview at least so you get an idea of what the vehicle's like. And with this vehicle, the way it's driving right now, it feels most happy just driving a little bit faster than traffic. If you try to drive this thing as fast as it can go, it gets sketchy pretty fast. Kind of a big, lumbering, older car where it's just a little bit easy to get sideways, and with that torquey engine, you can put down too much power, lose traction, and before you know it, I've crashed. Anyways, back out to the outside of the vehicle for a crash. We're gonna just barely touch this dude, and we are mostly okay. I lost the wheel, but I think we can still put down power if I have a chance. We're gonna see where this crash goes. We're gonna hit this blue car a little bit, just barely touching him, and then we have cleared the last car. And that's one of those collisions where I would have never been able to do something like that in the old version of the game. The only reason I can do stuff like this is thanks to the update. Oh shoot, I have no wheel and I have no steering. We're going into the trees. Hello trees, how are y'all doing? Okay, what in the world? How do we manage to get stuck between two trees again? I'm just having weird luck with these crashes, man. So anyways, reset. And let's go ahead and try out the other AI traffic mode. So we're gonna use the spawn police button, which says it spawns a group of vehicles, including police. And before we mess around with the police, a quick vehicle change. It's still gonna be a gravel blue buck, but this time it's gonna be the lowrider because you can have some extra fun with the lowrider. So with the suspension, you can first off just completely raise it and have some sort of weird monster truck lowrider. I do not like that. I like my lowriders nice and low. But more importantly, you can control the suspension independently. So you can have just the front lift up or just the rear, and you can do stuff like bouncing the rear into the ground, ruining your rear bumper, that kind of fun stuff. And you can also do just the left and just the right. So you can bounce the vehicle from side to side, get up into the air a little bit, have some fun with that. And lastly, you can also hop the vehicle. And to do that, you need to have a good bump in the road or something like that to really get yourself airborne, because if you try it on a flatter road, you're just gonna go lift the suspension like that and nothing's gonna really happen. But if you time it right, you can get a couple inches into the air. And if you do it off of a jump, you can get a couple more feet in the distance. So anyways, for the police vehicles, they will come after you if you do law-breaking things. So what are law-breaking things? Well, I've noticed they for sure come after you if you are speeding significantly over the speed limit or if you crash into another vehicle. Both of those, they'll definitely come after you. And it seems like they'll also come after you for other reasons which I don't quite understand just yet. But I've had a couple of times where they come after me and I didn't expect them to. So like right there, I just zoomed by them at like 70 miles per hour where the speed limit was 50. So now all the cops are going to be coming after me and we're going to try to avoid them, which isn't too hard. The secret actually is don't go super fast. If you go super fast, you're more likely to crash into them, it feels like. But if you go to medium rate of speed like I'm doing through here, you're gonna do a pretty good job of avoiding the police, it feels like. And now there's just been like no cops for some reason. Eventually there will be more cop cars coming up. There's one over there. He kind of looks like he's trying to do a roadblock, but actually he's trying to do a U-turn. That's one of the only complaints I have about the police AI, is if there's a car in front of you, they won't try to do any sort of blocking maneuver. They'll just turn around and try to do a head-on collision. Anyways, the next cop I see, I'm gonna crash into him so you can see what it looks like when you get busted. There's a cop car crashing right into him. Ooh, that is some blue buck on blue buck damage. So it says you got busted, and when it says that, you can't drive. You can accelerate the vehicle, but it's not gonna put down any power until it says you can drive away now. And that's all that happens when you get arrested. My vehicle was stuck, so we'll pull it back a little bit. And we'll continue driving along this road for a little bit longer because a little bit up the road, there is a new addition to East Coast USA. There is the Sawmill, which has a really cool dirt racetrack you can drive around in. And as we've been driving around through here, hopefully you've noticed some of the visual differences. For example, like an area like this, it used to just be trees on trees on trees on trees. But now we have some guardrails that weren't there before, different plants than just the trees. And I think there's a little bit more variety to the kind of trees that are around us. And also, some of the trees have just been replaced with completely new areas. So anyways, this is the dirt track around the Sawmill. And one of the neat things about this track is there are areas like that, where you kind of pop off of the dirt track just for a second, hit the pavement, and before you know it, you're back onto the dirt track. So anyways, we'll do a little bit of driving around here. And oh no, it's a cop. Oh, he's actually coming after me. What did I do, man? I'm innocent. Leave me alone. This is private property. I can drive however I want here. All right, stop pushing me. Just arrest me. Oh my goodness. This dude, are you done? You done? Can you arrest me or whatever? Thank you. Now you won't chase me anymore, right? Oh, I just wrecked this car as I teleported through it. That was funny. All right, anyways, back to the dirt track. There is one area on this track which I think will be great for this vehicle because there's a little jump and a little bump. That's the best place possible to use the jump with the hydraulics and hopefully get ourselves a little bit into the air. So here's the first one. Oh, we're kind of bottoming out a bit, so we can't go that fast. All right, hold on. We're going to try it right here. Just a little hop. Whoop. There we go. Got a little bit more airborne than we would have without it. All right, next up, we have a ramp over to our left. And with this ramp, we're going to get airborne no matter what, but should be a little bit more airborne if I time the hydraulics right. The only question is, what's the timing like? I don't quite know. I don't know how much of a delay there really is for the hydraulics yet. So we're just going to estimate it, try now. That might have got us a little bit more distance. Hard to tell. Oh no, the cops are after me again. I was trying to do my hydraulic jumping, man. Come on, look what you did to my car. My car has been ruined. All right, we can do another jump over here, though. This one will definitely get us some air. I'm going to do it a little bit earlier than the last one. Jump. Oh, that was a beauty. Oh, we jumped too far. Oh, I can't get the corner now. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, we're going to just go ahead and roll over and crash into some logs. All part of the plan, because you know what? The jump with the hydraulics works spectacular. Oh, look at that cop. He just drifted. He pulling out that initial D to catch me. That is one angry cop. And yes, he did bust me. So here's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to go ahead and tell the AI to just be normal traffic. And then I'm going to change my vehicle to something that's actually well suited for here, like the rally version of the Hirochi Sunburst. And this should be the perfect vehicle for this. There are no big jumps, so we don't need a super beefy suspension setup. We just need enough to endure the dirt road bumps. And right here, that's a great place to try to have to avoid the traffic. Although, the fact that the traffic likes to drive around on the dirt roads as well is kind of funny to me. It's like, dude, what are you guys doing? You don't belong here. Like, what is this? Just everybody's trying to congregate right around me. Okay. That's ridiculous. It was like 5 cars just all grouped together right there. I'm curious, if we do another lap, will there still be a bunch of cars there? I want to actually count. How many cars were there? I think it was 4 plus me, right? Maybe it was only 3. I don't know. We're going to figure this out. Go on a slightly different path here, but it doesn't matter because it gets us the exact same destination either way. This one just doesn't have the jump in it. All right, so how many cars are here? 1, 2, 3, plus me. So it's just 4 in total. I thought I saw 5, but I might have been mistaken. Either way, lots of cars there. But there are a lot of routes here. It kind of interconnects in all kinds of different directions. So if you wanted to, you can kind of just have your own little rally course you drive and just have some fun with that. Or just be like me, where you just drive in circles, because driving in circles is perfectly fine as well. Look at that guy. He's actually stuck on a log. Like, both of these cops have gotten stuck trying to get me somehow. And I thought I turned the cops off. And they busted me either way. Maybe it's just those cars never despawned because I didn't get far enough away from them. I don't know. But There's that yellow car there now. Everybody just congregates in this area. Why is that? This area is a special area where everybody gets together. Nobody really knows why. They just do it. Anyhow, let's go ahead and go to a new area. This is one of the areas where it used to just be, go ahead, you little Ottobello. So anyways, this is one of those areas where it used to just be a bunch of trees, basically. Now there's an entire village in that area. And somehow I have managed to flip the car. Come on, upright yourself. Okay, let's try that again. To make it worth your time, we're going to do a little trick right here. We're going to hit the ramp, do a 180, and then continue driving. With the cop right there. Okay. I just barely clipped him. I think I got his mirror to fall off, but we're still drivable. We're good to go. And be very, very careful through here this time. I don't know exactly what caused me to flip. I think it was like right here I flipped. So careful. And we're through. How's drivability? Pulling a bit to the left. That's annoying, but it's good enough. And just over this ridge is the little village. There it is. You can now see it to the left side. And I gotta swerve through traffic, try to get there. We'll go ahead and hop on in so you can take a look at it. We're gonna go to the right this time because there's a cop there. I was gonna go to the left, but cops have to ruin everything, don't they? Over here we got a nice little dock with a boat that's up in the air. And we even have a stairway over here, which I think we can go through if we have small enough of a vehicle, but this one might be a little bit too big. It's just a tiny bit too big. At least I think that's what it is, or maybe it's just it doesn't have the ground clearance. So let's get a car that has more ground clearance and less width. That is the Baja version of the Pickle. And then we go right over that, easy as can be. And then we can stop down here and, well, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we can stop down here. I just think it's neat that you can actually drive down here. And apparently I got busted. How? Oh, there's a cop down there. Across the water, he finds a way to bust me. Okay, yeah, that's very, very realistic, game. Good job. That was just really random. Like, I didn't understand what happened at first because how is that possible? I don't know. So over here we have another dock. This one's a completely different design where the boats don't float in the air. They just stay in the water, but they at least have a little shed they can hide in. And the water here is surprisingly deep. To demonstrate how deep the water is, I will drop my car into the water. And you can see that is pretty deep. That's like a good at least 10 feet of water, it seems like. Can't do anything in the water though, so we are back onto the road. And now we're gonna go to the left once more because there's another dock over there. And again, this dock is a completely different design. And this one is the most interactive. I know, I was driving up and down the stairs in the other one, so how's that possible? Well, on this one, there's a jump. So you can do this with any car. Might not work with all the cars, but you can do it with any car. This is a great car for the jump, so we hit the jump, land it, and try to stay upright, roll a little onto our wheels. There we go. So now we made it across. Can't really go back to where we came, though. You see, there's just a huge gap there. There's no way the car will be able to clear it. We can at least drive around on the island a little bit. So we can go up by the building, through the trees, and not really much here, but it's just a nice little island you could fly onto and get stranded on. Of course, you could always just reset the vehicle. Ha! Look at that! There is a cop under the water. How in the world did he get there? I'm gonna go say hello to him. Hello! Are you gonna arrest me? Too bad. You're underwater. You can't do that. It's illegal to arrest people underwater. That's one of those things the cops don't want you to know. If you are underwater, they're not legally allowed to arrest you. So if you ever rob a bank and the cops are chasing you, jump into a swimming pool. They can't arrest you. It's illegal. Anyways, over to the right side now. We have just a few buildings we're going to drive around and kind of take a look at them as we do that. And this vehicle is great for that because we can do nonsense like this, where we just kind of hop over some rocks and hope for the best. And that was about the best I could have got from that. Can we go up again? Yes, we can. So there's a cool looking building. I like that color. It's just a nice bright yellow. And then over here we have a different set of docks. This one, again, a different design, but there's not much we can do with this one. Because one section is just too thin for a vehicle, and then the other one, there's no way for us to go through it because there's kind of just boats there. So here's the one that's too thin for a vehicle. We could try as much as we want, but it's not going to fit. You just see it's thicker than the area. So let's go ahead and back out of here, do a little 180. Well, actually, that was not a 180. That was only a 90-degree maneuver. I take my 180 back. So anyways, to the final dock, which is also probably going to be the final thing we look at on East Coast USA, which that's actually a bad thing because we still have like 3 other maps to load up, and this video's been going on for about 20 minutes, I think. That's not good. Because usually I try to make sure the videos are under 20 minutes long. Or what in the world is going on here? Cop, stop. Now remove the traffic. We're going to swap the vehicle real quickly, though, because what I want to try to do is I want to try to drive across the boats again. This time I'm going to use the Beast. That's what I was trying to do, by the way. I wanted to try to drive across the boats. I thought maybe it'd be possible. But I say, okay, we need a longer vehicle, and that might work. So we got the longest vehicle there is, the D35 Beast. And we're going to see, can we make it across? Like, the only way to actually get to the boats in real life is to get wet. There's no way to get to the far boats without getting wet. And in a vehicle, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. Give it a good shot, though. Before we move on to the next map, though, I'm going to give you guys a quick aerial view of the area so you get a good idea of how large it is and what it actually looks like. So that is the little port or dock or whatever you want to call it. Dock town, port town, who knows, who cares? We're moving on to Hirochi Raceway. And right off the bat, we are in the brand new area on Hirochi Raceway. There's now a figure 8 racetrack, which also has an outer loop that you can race on as well. So to have as much fun as possible on this, we're going to go ahead and put AI to normal traffic mode, just so we can have some obstacles to drive around with. Because this AI is designed for regular street roads. So they're going to be coming in the wrong direction, making U-turns in the middle of the figure 8, doing all kinds of dumb stuff like that. Because it's not the AI you would normally use for a racetrack, but it'll work good enough. You also have ones that just stop for no real reason. They're just stopped. That's what they are. But at least it gives us something to try to avoid as we drive around here. It makes it a little bit more interesting than if I was just driving alone. And the main goal is eventually, hopefully, a car will be on the figure 8 right as I do it so we can have a nice collision. Like I see a car right there. We might fly right over them, though. Let's see. Here we go. Whoa. Oh. Over them. Oh, no. Oh, it didn't quite work. We have flipped over. That is unfortunate. Help me up, other guy. Hey, you're my hero. That dude is officially my hero. He actually helped me up. Alright, and you notice, I think, at least, that depending on which direction you go on the figure 8, one side you really get a jump on it, the other one's a little bit smoother. Like, that was the smooth side, and the way I was going before, that was the big jump side. Here we go. This should be the smooth side. Yeah, no big jump there. But you do see we get some airtime off the end of the track, which can make the vehicle almost crash into the wall right there, but not quite. And again, another dude's just like, I'm stopping here. This is my spot. There's the car I crashed into earlier. We're going to crash into him again. Just wreck him up. So anyways, that is a demonstration of the figure 8 racetrack. Go ahead and leave this area. And one of the other things you'll notice about Hirochi Raceway is the details around it have changed. So now there's a couple more like sand pits and runoffs, so you don't just crash into trees all the time, because it's kind of like East Coast USA where there's a lot of trees. Now instead of trees, you also have things like signs, where it says Hirochi Raceway. And you have things like the stands right there, and then the boom for like a cameraman, and the lighting and stuff. All kinds of new little details like that. But yeah, if you have the AI on, when you're on the racetrack, dumb things happen. Like the AI is just like, oh, I'm driving my car and I'm going the wrong direction. It's going to cause chaos. So we probably should have turned that off, and I will in just a second. I'm going to just go ahead and real quickly wreck this truck, though, into a car. There's my target. You can't escape me. Got him. I got myself, too, but I got him. So, AI, go ahead and get on out of here. You guys are done. And we'll get this truck off of the wall. And now we're going to go to the off-road area in Hirochi Raceway. Yeah, the racetrack has an off-road area. It sounds kind of funny, but look. There it is, and we're going to be using the regular pickup truck for this because it is capable of doing most of the course. I think if you take the right alternative paths, you can do it with the pickup truck, but if you take the wrong ones, it's just a little bit too rocky, and the pickup truck can't quite do it. And I'm taking the rockier path, so you can see what I mean. So like right here, regular pickup truck going through these rocks, it's going to have a rough time. It might make it once in a great while, but it kind of comes down to luck, and right there, I was just really lucky. But normally, yeah, I would prefer a nicer off-roadier vehicle for something like that. And like right there, I thought I could clear that rock, but I can't. So how about we just go ahead and grab a real off-roader, like a real off-roader, the custom version of the Hopper. That is a serious off-roader. And over those rocks, no problem. I mean, sure, I could have drove around them in the D series, but you know what's more fun than driving around them? Driving directly through them with the hopper. And now we have another rocky area, which I'm going a little too fast into. I should probably lock the differentials here because, yeah, I'm a little stuck. Locking the differentials always get you out of most stuck situations for me. And I don't think this area will be an exception. We just gotta go slow through here, though, because I don't want to accidentally flip the vehicle over. This is one of those areas where you can get a lot of traction on a single rock, and before you know it, hey, the sky is brown and made out of dirt. What's going on? Like right here, that's close. That's really close to... You just accelerate some, it'll save itself too. That's the other solution. Sometimes you just floor it and see what happens. So we got these tubes over here, and I'm pretty sure if we go straight at this, we will get stuck. We're gonna see what happens. Yeah, you get stuck if you go directly at this, so don't do that. What you should be doing is driving on 2 tubes at the same time, like so. If you do it like that, it is nice and easy. You can go on just 1 tube at the end and kind of scrape your way to the finish as well. Then through here, just slow and steady it. My goal is just to finish the course, not set no time records. If you want to set a time record, yeah, go fast. I just want to get through it without having some sort of catastrophic crash because I was trying to go too fast. Nice and slow, and then we are through. And so you have places like this where you can say, oh, that rock, well, I don't want to do that. That looks too hard. We're going to go this way instead, where it's a little bit easier. There are different paths with different difficulties. So that's why I say if you take the right path, you could probably do it with the regular pickup truck just fine. If we take this path, for example, it should get us, I believe, back to where we started, and we can go ahead and head out of this area. Yes, there is the exit. So we are through. We did it! Somehow. What exactly did we do? We made it through in a totally cheaty path because I did not want to climb the big rock wall of doom. So also around this map, we got like new buildings. I'm pretty sure that gas station wasn't there before. We can go ahead and go through the toll booth and then down to the garages, which have been completely redesigned from their old look. The old look was just a bunch of concrete rooms, basically. Now it actually kind of looks more like a garage for cars. So here it is. You got an upper story, and then you got the lower story as well. And a lot of the doors are blocked off. You can't go in there. Some of them, though, they're open, and you can go through them like that one is. And that one is. Let's try to actually go through that just to prove that you can. And other doors, they're like half open, like the one to the left, which actually just got me thinking. If we get a low enough of a vehicle, can we go through that? Come on, Hopper. Don't do that. Stay on your wheels. You gotta fight to go through the door. All right, so let's see. Let's get a really low vehicle and see if we can go through this. So I know the Savannah Bullite is low, so we'll get that, and we'll get the nutty version of it. That's what I'm gonna call it from now on, nutty, because it is nutty. So does it fit? Yeah, it fits. Just barely, like it scrapes the paint right off of it, it looks like, but it does fit. So now let's go ahead and do a quick lap of Hirochi Raceway so you can see some of the visual differences between this version of the racetrack and the old version. So like right off the bat, you notice the sand pits are a little bit blackened. From all the cars who drive like me, when they say, oh, I'm a great driver, look at me, oh no, I'm in the sand pit, I'm actually not that good of a driver. You know, you can tell there are people like me who go straight into those sand pits. And they're there for a reason. Here's a nice straightaway that you've all seen before. Go ahead and go fast through here up to 120. Come on, 120. No, not gonna happen. Because we're taking a left here. If I go any faster than that, I don't think I would have made it. Got tight corners coming up. Let's use the sand pit to my advantage. Get in there. Ooh, exhaust damage. I actually lost my exhaust right there. And you know what? That's a positive because the car sounds a lot meaner right now, and who doesn't like their car sounding meaner, especially when you're on a racetrack? That's the time where nobody can complain about how mean your car sounds because every car there is going to be loud and mean sounding. At least they should be. If it doesn't, you need to just take a hacksaw to your exhaust and cut it off immediately so your car sounds cooler. Doesn't matter what car it is, just do it. Here's another example of a change. Like right here, we could just drive straight through this. There's nothing there to stop us. Before, there was a wall that ran really close to that made it more difficult to do so. I mean, a lot of the overall shape is the same, but there are also minor differences to the shape of the track as well. They're easier to point out if we're going in the other direction, but too late, we already did a lap in that direction. And I was mostly caring about the visual differences, not the physical differences anyways. And now we need to move on to the final map we're going to be driving on. And this is a map I don't actually use too often, but it is Derby Arenas, which actually has multiple locations you can spawn at. Hey, my computer crashed when I loaded up that map. So you know what? I'm going to take it as a sign. we should do things out of order and go to West Coast USA first, then make our way back over to Derby Arenas. And I went to the drag strip on West Coast USA because that's where there's a new feature. There is the drag strip race. Now, this is not a scenario. This is something you can do from free roam. You pull up to the drag strip. You don't even have to pick the spot to start, by the way. You just pull up to it from any location on the map. You say, I'm at the drag strip now. This little thing will come up. You hit accept, and then you'll have a drag race with whichever car you choose. You could choose an opponent, or you can say, give me a random vehicle. You could give me a random vehicle that's of similar performance. And you even have the option to turn the camera on and off, which you'll be seeing in a second. And then you have the Pro T, you can turn on or off. For me, I'm just going to leave it at the defaults for this. But first, let me choose my vehicle. Well, my vehicle is going to be the Hero Bus because that's a fast vehicle. And I am curious what they will suggest me race against when I have this thing. Because on paper, this is very, very slow because all of its power comes from the Jader rockets equipped to it, not the engine. So if I say similar performance, well, they do show faster vehicles, but I need a drag opponent. There we go. That should be good. When you choose them, they have this little kind of entry camera thing where they all pull up all dramatic from the pits and like, all right, I'm ready to race. Let's go. I think that's pretty neat. That's one of those things you could turn it off if you get sick of it, because I'm sure I would if I did the 20 drag races in a row or whatever. It's like, I don't need to see this 20 times in a row. You know, just doing one every now and then, it's nice to have that. So we'll go ahead and get myself ready for the drag race. It's hard to even see the lights from back here. It looks like I'm over the line a little bit, doesn't it? From here, like this camera angle is just a little bit hard to tell where you're lined up. But there's the race. And oh no. Oh no, oh no. I have completely overestimated the speed of this bus for some reason. I thought it was faster. I mean, it's got good trap speed. It's going 168 to their 160, but they beat me in the quarter mile, which is what's important. So I need to make a change to my vehicle. We'll go and race the same person, but for me, I'm going to use, oh, it's a fast vehicle. How about the drag version of the Blue Buck? New vehicle? Might as well try it out. Should be just as fast as the other drag cars, I would think. Go and line up with the staging. I'm already ready to go. They are ready to go. Nitrous is armed. And racing. Not the greatest of starts there. I am actually pulling away from them, ain't I? Yeah. And my trap speed is 173. Okay, either the AI is not that good at drag racing, or this car is a lot faster than the other drag cars. We'll find out next video. For now, I'm going to go to Derby Arenas and check out the new stuff there. So with this map, there are two major changes. Number one is just the visuals have been completely reworked, so it looks a lot nicer than it did before. The buildings have been changed, the grass has been changed, dirt has been changed, bushes have been changed. Like, everything's been changed just a bit to look a little bit nicer overall. And then change number two is a brand new dirt track that I'm going to be driving on, and I need a good vehicle for that. So how about we use the off-road version of the Sunburst? That should be an excellent vehicle to drive through this. And if you were to ask me what's my favorite place on Derby Arenas, it is the new track, because it's kind of BMX-like. And I say that because it has some big jumps that you kind of have to take if you want to go fast, which is why I got a car with a nice beefy suspension setup like this one. I could have also done it in the pickup truck as well, but this one has a little bit more power and oomph to it, and it makes it a little bit easier to go fast enough to clear the jumps smoothly. That's a pretty smooth landing, making full use of my fancy extended suspension. I'm trying to make that one a little bit smoother. That was too slow. I made that too slow, so it was not a smooth landing. I do not know the ideal speeds for all of these jumps. Eventually I'll learn them and I'll be able to just fly through them much better than I'm doing right now. And oh my goodness, this car is pulling to the side. This is bad. I have damaged the vehicle, but we can keep going. We're going to finish a lap even with a busted up vehicle. And it could be run in either direction as far as I've seen. It doesn't really matter which way you go. Can we make it? Can we make it? That is a lap. I lost the wheel, but that is a lap. Bye-bye, wheel. In addition to that, there have been a lot of minor modifications to almost every vehicle, it seems like. And also the sound system has been reworked a lot. There are a lot of small details to the sound, which I didn't really get to show off too much in this video. But if you want a full list of changes, do visit the developer's blog and check out the changelog there. Otherwise, till next time, this is WhyBeAre. And remember, if you like or dislike this video, I will know. I can tell by the frequency of updates in BeamNG.drive. So do the right thing, and I'll see you next time.